name is Wesley Eary. Some people call me Wes, and I'm an artist. Technically, I've been making art since I could hold a crayon. I was always encouraged, always had a good support with my family and teachers in school. As a professional artist, I'd say I've been doing it for about 15 years now. My call to art is the freedom of expression. And that's what drew me to art school. And then thanks to art school, that kind of created this need to be creative inside. I wouldn't know what else to do. And then when I feed that need, it surprises me. Like I get kind of inspired through every aspect of living, I guess. Whether it be movies, pop culture, like, kind of like nostalgia. And sometimes it's like a movie or like a product like Ecto Cooler, High C that I used to drink when I was a kid. And then it kind of just like wakes up this feeling I had when I was like, the age of like, 9 years old, when you kind of are starting to understand this thing called life a little bit, but also the freedom of play and the way that imagination kind of flows through that whole process. So I try to visit that feeling, and usually it comes out in a fluorescent color palette with a bunch of scribbles. So I'm a local guy, so I went to West Virginia State University. I went in as a education major, and I kept adding art classes each semester, and my advisor said that if I kept doing that, I wouldn't graduate till probably, in like, it'd take me about 10 years to graduate. I was like, well, I can't come here if I don't have an art class. She said, well, I think you just determined your major. And I was like, all right, fine. She said, great thing about being an art major is there's no ceiling. So sky's the limit. And I was like, but there's also no floor. So we'll see how, we'll try to stay out of there. So. It kind of reminds me of back in the day where we had the arcades at the malls, and you had all that crazy print on the carpet. You had all the lights, all the sounds. And then, the whole time you're just gathering these tickets. And then at the end of it, you have these little treasures. You had like the little, whether it be like a slap bracelet or the little rope bracelets, and everything was like fluorescent. And that color palette, just like, man, I think I get the same excitement today as I did when I was young. That whole experience and the nostalgia and like everything that went on during the era, like the movies, the TV commercials, the cartoons, the characters, all of that stuff is kind of what sparks that. It's almost like a reminder of when the imagination seed was first planted. Meeting the people. I've been doing ArtWalk for a while. Like, I started out ArtWalk before I could even got invited to any stores or any businesses. So me and my friend used to do guerrilla ArtWalk, and we would just bring our own fold-out table and set up on the sidewalk and just bug people. We'd paint, or we would just bring a bunch of paintings that we'd done the month before, and we would, our friends would come up and talk to us, and then I guess it looked like we were engaging with them, other They were strangers for a moment, but after they left, they weren't strangers anymore. Some of my favorite artists is let's see here, Arian Shoma. She is very talented. She's always working very hard. Leah Towler. She has been one of my friends and fellow artists for probably over a decade now. There's one of my favorite, like in the past years, was my partner in crime, was Kim Schrader. Every once in a while, in a random blue moon, you get to see one of hers. So if you see a Kim Schrader, then you know that you got to witness a unicorn walking down the street. I think ArtWalk is a perfect way. It's like a marriage between for artists to make a connection with the public. It's also a great way to walk around our like beautiful downtown Charleston. You never know. Over the years, I've had it's a good way to start a Thursday night, especially if you're like a young, wanting to experience, the bar scene. Start with ArtWalk, go get something to eat on Capitol Street, and then maybe hit a local show at one of the bars. It's a really good time. I've had some of the best nights I've ever had in Charleston started with ArtWalk. Anybody wants to check my art out, I'm mostly on Instagram, and it's Wes Eary Art, so it's WESEARY Art. And so that's my Instagram handle. I also have a Facebook page, and that's Wes Eary Art as well.